have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Scholars of Wrestling. Scholar Tarek here. Hi, Internet. And alongside me, Scholar Brian.
Hi, Internet. It's nice to actually be able to sit down and enjoy a bottle of clear liquid.
It's definitely back at my place that you have the clear liquid and not the alcoholic beverages.
Yes, and we'll see how good the show is with me not on alcoholic beverages. We'll find out real quick.
Although I have to admit, it's a little fun listening to you going off your drunken self, either from listening on your shows to just experiencing it in person.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens.
And we don't have to worry. Scholar Jeff can't join us tonight, so no Captain Optimism for tonight.
Yes, I can be the pessimist all I want. But unfortunately, there's not really much to be pessimistic about this week.
No, there really isn't. It was actually a very good week in the world of professional wrestling.
Unless you're in the UK.
Oh yes. I don't even know what's going on with the UK. And hell, we'll just throw that into some backstage news.
Backstage news.
Backstage news. All right. This really wasn't on the list of backstage news, but we might as well just talk about it for a quick bit. About the WWE Network again delaying in the UK.
Well, the thing was, apparently, from the reports, Sky Sports or something like that over there, that's like the only broadcast network that does pay-per-views or anything over there, and they were threatening to do a DirecTV and pull out of that.
Actually, I read that too.
So it does make sense, but it just hamstrings the WWE, and it hamstrings the UK fans that want a piece of what we've got in this network.
Don't cry, UK fans. You will get it once WWE actually takes care of what the hell is going on with the Sky Network.
Yeah, Sky Sports. It's your fault. It's your fault. So stop depriving your buyers of a service that they want.
Simple as that. Can't go anymore with that. Don't blame WWE UK. They actually aren't the bad guys for once.
and Vince probably shouldn't have put out that apology.
I didn't watch it.
That was pretty.
I hear is the whole criticism.
That was pure Vince right there.
The only real criticism I got from that, or from what I heard, since again I didn't watch it, is that he didn't give any explanations on why he was delaying. We pretty much had to find out on our own.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
it was pure Vince. It was pure politics, right there.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
don't worry, UK fans. You will get that WWE Network soon. You will feel the taste that we have endured, and it is a very good tasting product.
Yum.
One word, yum.
Yum. Nom, nom, nom.
And going into some more backstage news, I couldn't be more happy to announce WWE officially making the call. WWE SmackDown is returning to Thursday nights.
Yeah, I can actually watch it on the night now. That's some good news.
That is some good news. And the only thing that can make this even more perfect is them going live on it.
That'll never happen.
Trust me, it's just fantasy wishing, and we all know it's not going to happen. But
the pessimist says it's not going to happen.
And I agree with that pessimism.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. God, I feel like I'm the drunk one tonight. I agree with that pessimistic view. There you go.
Close enough.
And, well, yeah, it feels real old school, the fact that it's back on Thursday nights for me. It brings back a little nostalgia to my heart. I was never a huge fan of them moving to Fridays.
It makes no sense. Who's going to sit down and watch a wrestling show on a Friday? Who like, in the demographic that they're going for, who's going to stay in on a Friday night when they could go out? who's gonna stay in and watch SmackDown?
In real arguments, I guess I could, since most of my social life has gone straight to my little one.
Yeah, you don't go out, so that's it.
But it's not saying I will watch SmackDown. I have plenty of other shows to watch, and I have fun with my wife and my lovely little girl.
Exactly.
So, depends on what happens when I read the spoilers. If it's a good show, then I'll probably just turn it on, seeing what's going on. But if it's not, it's like, well, at least I know what's going on. I know what happened, moving on with my life.
And let's talk about this banner that they showed.
Which banner?
That showed the announcement, the one with the
yes, the one that I posted on the Facebook page.
Evil Bella Boobs.
Evil Bella Boobs.
Coming back from last week. Dean Ambrose looking like he stepped on a Lego.
That's the fool's quotes.
Exactly.
Stepping on a Lego.
And who knows where Bray Wyatt's hand is. That's probably why Dean Ambrose looks like that in the first place.
I guess the only thing I can really say about that whole picture is it's the number 2 feud that's going on in WWE. I'm really glad that they're really promoting that.
The number 2 feud on the number 2 show, and some Evil Bella Boobs.
And some Evil Bella Boobs.
Works for me. I'm in. Bring it to Thursday nights. I'll actually watch it again. Possibly,
depending on what's going on.
On the day. I always watch SmackDown, but it depends. Now I can watch it on the day. I don't have to wait until it's up the day after on Hulu.
Yeah, well, even when it was available on Hulu, I rarely watched SmackDown anyway. Remember a time when SmackDown actually was the better show to watch than Raw?
I think it was 2004 when they had the SmackDown 6. Was it 2003 or 2004? I think it was
during the brand extension period. Yeah, because they had sometimes they had the better roster and even the better storylines.
I believe it was 2004 because that's when Randy Orton had his massively long Intercontinental title reign. Before he won the big one, yeah.
From
his insanely long and boring Intercontinental title reign.
I guess it is boring because I really don't remember what happened during that whole title reign.
That was the whole Edge. I just don't like you. when Edge came back from the neck injury.
Oh yeah.
And the big fighting words of that feud were, I just don't like you. Alrighty then. All right, we're done checking behind the curtains. Let's move forward down the ramp into the ring and let's look at Monday Night Raw, shall we? I can't always say always a good show, but this week it was acceptable. It wasn't a chore to sit through.
It really wasn't a chore to sit through. I actually did enjoy what I was watching this past week on Monday. And it really did start with the surprise return of the chairman, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Did not see that coming at all. All I did was just click. I'm like, I wonder what's going on Raw.
No chance. What?
Wait, is this for real? Holy crap! Oh my God, he's really here! I am focusing on the television.
And it was 5 minutes long, and it was awesome.
It was actually, I was very surprised. It was very quick to the point.
Yeah, if that is what I need from Vince McMahon when it comes out. Not the Triple H 20-minute promo that happened later on in the night. What I need is Vince McMahon coming out 5 minutes, gets his point across with the stipulation added to the Survivor Series match, and then get out of the ring.
And what a great stipulation that is if Team Authority loses, then the Authority is out of power. Oh boy. I wonder what they're going for here.
And apparently, the rumor is Stephanie McMahon is pregnant again.
I heard that rumor too. I won't be surprised if that was the case.
Which lends credence to my thoughts that I guess it's Team WWE. Team Cena. Team Cena is going to pull this out, Okay, well, obviously, because it's Team freaking Cena.
Yeah,
but,
you just had to name the title of the team, and you already know who might win this.
But if Stephanie McMahon's pregnant, first of all,
congratulations.
Congratulations,
if it's
indeed.
True.
Second of all, Triple H, you the man. That's it.
Oh, you dog.
Damn right.
The one thing I actually only wish that they would throw in is during the whole backstage segment with Vince leaving, I would want to see like a little twist, and while they were waiting for a limo to show up to pick up Vince, he does this whole thing saying it's good to be back on TV, it's good to be back in front of the crowd, and then the limousine shows up, says, okay, his ride's here. The door opens up, out comes Shane McMahon. Gives a stare down to Triple H and Stephanie while Vince gets in the car. Shane looks, gives a smirk, and goes right in. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, it's too bad that Shane really doesn't want anything to do with the WWE at this point.
What is he doing? I actually wanted to look up and see what he's been doing recently.
I'm pretty sure that he was doing stuff with MMA.
I heard that he was doing that like years ago. I didn't know he was still. Yeah, I didn't know if he was still doing that.
I'm pretty sure he's still
involved
with that kind of thing, but I don't think Shane McMahon's ever going to be an on-screen presence in the WWE again. I don't think so.
Well, since your last feud was having a battery attached to your balls, I'm not surprised.
Randy Orton.
What about
during that whole Randy Orton RKOing and punting Vince and
oh yeah, that's right. That
month
Shane
long
was involved in
that month-long feud when Randy Orton just pulverized Shane McMahon into the ring at Elimination Chamber, I think it was.
Well, no matter what, Shane always gets the rotten end of the stick whenever he shows up on TV.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm not surprised where he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna slowly back away the door.
I'm gonna go do some MMA and
I'm gonna do some MMA stuff over there. Yeah. Slowly sneaking away.
It's like I'm not even gonna do UFC. I'm just gonna do one of those little ones that aren't even on TV.
But yeah, once again, I would have loved to have seen just Shane just pop out of the car, showing that he could be a threat to the McMahons.
Would be nice for shock value.
Shock value, absolutely.
Shock value. You already shocked the world. Vince McMahon returning out of nowhere at the beginning of the show. Just one shock, two shocks, three shocks galore. That's it.
But from what I've been reading, this whole thing with Vince McMahon coming back on TV and this whole authority on careers on the line is them trying to bring back this one stipulation storyline feud that they had, where it's the Authority versus Vince McMahon for power, which will lead to a match at WrestleMania between Triple H and The Rock, with Vince McMahon in The Rock's corner, and Triple H with Stephanie in her corner. Wait,
that would be awesome. That would be cool.
There's something familiar about that. Vince McMahon in The Rock's corner and Stephanie in Triple H's corner? So, I feel like two things are missing in that. Like Mick Foley with Linda McMahon in his corner.
And the Big Show with Shane McMahon.
My God, we're old.
So does that mean Vince McMahon turns on The Rock
again
and joins the Authority, and the Authority reigns supreme for another year?
Oh God, I don't think that's gonna happen again.
I hope
not. We are going so far from WWE Raw.
It's
going
all
on
right.
Fan speculations and just fantasy bookings.
Hey. It's what we do.
It is what we do. And after the whole Vince McMahon announcement, out comes Dean Ambrose in his match. What is it? Match number 3 against Cesaro in a very brutal match.
Well, first, okay, it makes me happy to see Vince McMahon shake Dean Ambrose's hand.
Oh yeah,
Vince McMahon is a Dean Ambrose guy. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up on that. Turns out Vince is actually kind of a face in this whole authority figure.
Yeah, and it was a brutal match, but it is not the best work that these two can do.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'm still not. I still like the other Dirty Deeds finisher. I like the
front.
What is it?
The front face buster.
Yeah, the front face buster. I like that one.
I'm not sure if that's actually what it is called, but
whatever. I like that
instead of the double arm DDT.
Instead of the double arm DDT, because DDTs are everywhere these days. It's not like a put you out for the count for good. The Dirty Deeds is still a move that doesn't look like it'll put you out for good, but
it looks more like a finishing move than a double arm DDT.
Yeah, and it looks like it'll cause more damage because you're not protecting the face. So
yeah, I agree on that.
But the whole Wyatt watching on the ramp, the rocking chair just creepily rocking as Dean Ambrose is fighting Cesaro. This feud, man. I've been waiting. We've been waiting for it. It's finally here, and as of right now, it's just as creepy as we thought it would be.
I just want to get this one thing out. I wanted to talk about this last week, but I couldn't make it to the show. I'm going to give Hell in a Cell, the pay-per-view, a classic goatee. And from what I listened to what you guys were saying about the Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, how you guys weren't really, like, there wasn't enough for you guys to give it a goat face rating. You kept it at a full beard. For me, I was willing to go that one extra step and actually gave it a goat face. Just because, not just because from the match itself, but just from the story that these guys were telling. That you guys brought it up, that they were throwing in some little hints of past Hell in a Cell matches in their match. And how I thought it was different when them falling off the side of the cage through the tables. I thought more of Shawn Michaels.
That
just
was
times two.
That was my thought when I first said it. And then Scarlett Jeff brings up the Mankind. I was thinking about the Shawn Michaels hanging off off the side of the cage and the Undertaker knocking him off into the tables. And this time it was the Dean Ambrose headbutt knocking him silly and knocking Seth Rollins clean off the cage and knocking him silly enough that he fell off the cage as well. But my whole thing with I couldn't give it a goat face because in my mind that the Bray Wyatt stuff could have happened after the match. Not like during. It could have happened after the match. So like say Dean Ambrose gets his win over Seth Rollins. Say that. And as he's celebrating, doing his Dean Ambrose thing, I don't know how he celebrates, but as he's celebrating, the lights go out. And the girl starts speaking in tongues.
Oh, from what I read, the whole chanting is actually a Bray Wyatt promo played backwards.
Oh.
I thought that was awesomely creative.
Like if there was like a finish that wasn't BS, like that. I mean, you've been building this feud up for 5 months. Give it a finish before you do that. Whatever way you decide to finish it. Say Dean Ambrose gets so caught up in putting him through the cinder block, Seth Rollins grabs him by the tights and rolls him up for a 3 count. Fine, but you still have a finish to the feud at this point.
What I look at it is, I loved the fact that Bray Wyatt actually interfered during the match. I loved it because once again, it's giving little homages to the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match, and then the whole match is just homage to the Mick Foley, the Mankind Undertaker match with them starting on the top of the cell.
Starting on the top of the cell and doing the rollout thing.
Rolling out, exactly. And then giving homage to Taker and Shawn Michaels with them falling through the table and having a dirty finish. I looked at Bray Wyatt's pretty much return as the same as Kane's debut back when he interfered on The Undertaker. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had a great feud going for a couple of months before building up for Hell in a Cell. I looked at it as exactly the same as, because you guys brought it up, this match, the whole feud between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose is going to continue no matter what. They're going to have a lot more matches down in the future.
Point, yeah.
This keeps it open, the fact that there's still heated, unfinished business between the two. And yet you had such a great finish that no one really saw coming. And similar to how Kane came out, no one saw Kane coming out during the Undertaker-Shawn Michaels match, and it had that same feeling. Because now, Bray Wyatt...
It does make sense for when Seth Rollins cashes in on the Money in the Bank, and who's his first challenger going to be? You could bet your ass it's going to be Dean Ambrose.
Exactly. And it just was just a great way to put a pause on one feud that everybody wants to see continue, and a brand new feud that everyone's wanted to see for a long time. How it was executed with the eerie fog, which one can look at it as the new version of Undertaker's urn.
It's basically, I was going off the feeling in the room that I was in while I was watching the pay-per-view, and we're all into the match. We're all like, this is awesome, this is great. And then Dean Ambrose is getting ready to do the dirty deeds into the cinder blocks, or not the dirty deeds. He's getting ready to do the curb stomp, just like humiliation to the core. And then the lights go out, and the vibe in the room just completely drops.
Oh, not for me.
Out of nowhere. It's just like, oh. I mean, this is cool and all because Bray Wyatt, and at the time we were like, is that person chanting in tongues? That's at the time, because we didn't know, it hadn't come out yet that it was a promo backwards. And then we're all trying to figure out what the chant is, and then the thing comes up, and we're like, they're gonna ruin this. They're gonna ruin this end, aren't they? That was the vibe in the room, and because I didn't get what I expected, I didn't get what I wanted. Okay, I got a great match. I didn't get the end that I wanted, and I didn't like the dirty finish after 6 months of it. Because the thing with Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker, all right, was the feud wasn't that long before that.
I'll give you that. It really wasn't.
It wasn't that long. This was like 6 months of heated build-up for something that I wanted to see finish off at this point. I've been going on about it for months that this was going to end at Hell in a Cell. Dean Ambrose was going to get his win,
absolutely.
And I didn't get what I wanted. It brought my vibe down. That's why I couldn't get it to the goat face.
For me,
that's why I got it to the full beard.
It brought my vibe back up because it was pretty much, I thought I was rewatching Kane's debut back then.
And we all know what a Canaanite you are.
I am a hardcore Canaanite, and I just love that they're making Bray Wyatt more as a supernatural figure that he really should have been growing into more.
They tried with the John Cena feud, and that whole, like, at Extreme Rules, which we were at, by the way, when the lights went out and the
creepy kid,
the kid was singing with the deep demon voice, and that was creepy. That was supernatural. But then they killed it off with a last man standing match. Yeah, do a last man standing match with John Cena. You really think you're gonna win? That's it.
Like I said, there for Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, there was no way that this match was going to end their feud.
Oh, I didn't want it to end their feud as a whole. I wanted it to end this chapter with a clear victor. Whether it was Seth Rollins getting out of the curb stomp and doing a quick little roll up, or Dean Ambrose getting the curb stomp and getting his revenge, and then Bray Wyatt does the whole chanting in tongues, the crazy thing. If I had gotten that, it would have been a goat face for me. I didn't get it. Full beard.
The thing how I looked at it is they won. They both were winners in that match. It was they put their hearts and bodies on the line in this match. They went all out. This was the reason that Hell in a Cell is so famous. This match, just how much they were willing to go at each other. When you look at the John Cena, Randy Orton Hell in a Cell match, it was just them. Normal stuff.
I like the story that they did in that match, though. It was much better than their Royal Rumble match, but anything would have been better on almost anything.
Oh yeah, it was their better one, but
the story of that match was, I can hit you with a finisher. You kick. The person
who would land the biggest finisher,
who landed the biggest finisher in the biggest way, was going to come out the victor. And when they said that, you knew that John Cena was doing the AA from the top rope through the table.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So I gave it the full beard, but it was pretty much
honestly
business as usual.
I gave that match a classic goatee, mainly because I didn't feel that the Cell was such a huge factor. It could have been a hardcore match, and it would have been the exact same thing. That's why I gave that one a classic goatee. But they put the Cell was its own character in the Seth Rollins Ambrose match, and and one person, I don't remember who was explaining it, the fact that it was Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins going to hell, literally going to hell.
We're all gonna die tonight.
And it was Bray Wyatt returning from hell to take out Dean Ambrose. And looking at that from a storyline angle, I loved the hell out of it. And I was on the edge of my seat watching it from beginning to end, and that's why I gave it a goat face. And I love to see where they're going to go with this Bray Wyatt Dean Ambrose feud. And we just watched it, or at least I did, watched it on SmackDown, the promo with Dean Ambrose coming in to Christian's peep show, and thankfully that was only a minute, asking why Bray Wyatt's going after Dean Ambrose, and then Christian disappears. No one cares. If you don't know by now, I have a huge distaste for Christian. But Bray Wyatt comes in and he's asking Dean Ambrose to join him. How he healed Luke Harper, he healed Eric Rowan, he can heal him. And as soon as Dean started going under the belt with his dad, Dean Ambrose's dad, abandoning him. Does he send you letters from prison? Dean Ambrose tries to go on the charge. The video start. He's gone from the rocker. He's right behind Dean Ambrose. Run! Promo again. Bray Wyatt's gone. I'm like, oh my god, this is what you should be doing with Bray Wyatt. He is the new Undertaker. He is becoming the new Undertaker of the new generation, and I am loving every second of it. I can't wait to see where they're going from here.
Yep, it's gonna be a good one. It's what we've been looking forward to. I just kind of wished it didn't.
That's understandable.
Happen at the end of the match.
That's understandable. I'll give you that. I see where you're going through. I just had a completely different experience.
I wanted Dean Ambrose to kill it off with a win.
I understand that. That's completely understandable.
It didn't happen, and it upset me enough to not give it
And from what you're telling me, it upset everybody that was at
Andrew
house.
All you heard was, really?
See, I watched it by myself, so I was getting my own experience. You were getting it from yourself and everyone else. Pretty much, you had such a negative vibe that it didn't help you at all.
Yeah.
But I do see where you're coming. I understand where you're coming from.
If I had watched it by myself, it still probably would have got a full beard.
I completely understand that. All right, going back to Raw, what we were talking about before.
Hey, I just had to. It's Wyatt and Ambrose, man. You got to.
I honestly had to. I had to say it since I wasn't here last week.
Yeah, it's Wyatt and Ambrose. We could talk about that all day.
And now, but also, there's the negative thing of what happened on Raw is this whole continuous downfall for Cesaro.
See, here's the deal. Okay, I don't look at this as Cesaro being punished for this match. I don't see this as Cesaro being punished or just like losing in general. I see this, okay, as a heel mid-card wrestler losing to a face that is higher up the card than him. If I look at it that way, it makes a lot of sense. And it doesn't bother me. He's losing to Dean Ambrose. I don't have a problem with that. It's when you bring the other, it's when he's losing to the other people that he's been losing to. I don't have a problem with him losing over and over again to Dean Ambrose at this point, because I know that sooner or later they're gonna be in a real feud that's gonna go back and forth. This is at the point where Cesaro said some stupid stuff, and he's paying for it because he doesn't have the presence of CM Punk. CM Punk could have said that stuff and got away with it. Dolph Ziggler and Cesaro do not have those chops.
The only real complaint I have about that is, yes, he's getting punished for saying that. But how long does this punishment have to go? Because from what I've read on SmackDown and from what I saw, Cesaro went to Kane asking for an opportunity to join Team Authority. And Kane said, if you beat Ryback. And Ryback completely destroyed him in the typical Ryback match.
Well, here's the deal.
How long does this punishment have to go?
Hold on. Okay, if they've already done the part where Cesaro is trying to get on to the Authority, that's not ending. And in the end, he will be on the Authority. He will be on the Authority's team.
I hope.
But according to the WWE, Cesaro isn't at that point yet. And him losing to Dean Ambrose doesn't bother me. So.
Oh, it didn't bother me too, because he still put on a decent match.
At this point, okay, he's losing to established superstars, which I'm fine with. If he was losing to people like Heath Slater, Titus O'Neil, those types, then I'd be worried. I'd be worried and a little pissed off. But he's not. He's losing to Sheamus, which makes sense. He's losing to Dolph Ziggler. Alright. He's losing to Dean Ambrose. Doesn't bother me. So he'll come out of this. He's not Drew McIntyre. Give it a month.
I hope you're right. I really do. Because, like I was just asked, how much punishment can you get from what you're saying?
Well, think about it, okay? Drew McIntyre got beat up by his wife, and just 2 years of straight jobbing until he was out of the company. So,
but really, like losing the 2 matches in a row at Hell in a Cell, I understand. But the fact that you're losing Dean Ambrose, I don't care, because like you said, he's in the main event spot. But the whole getting the Titus O'Neil / Heath Slater treatment given by Ryback, that's the type of thing that this happened on SmackDown.
Well, let's think about it, okay? Ryback just came back. They're treating him as a beast, as the way he should have been treated the entire time. And
I guess if that match actually was a legit match, I wouldn't be upset about this. But the fact that he was pretty much getting the whole Titus O'Neil / Heath Slater treatment when being in a match with Ryback bothers me.
I do it as a point. It's part of the storyline. Okay, they're building up Ryback so that he'll be on Team Cena at some point. Basically, the Ryback and John Cena match on Raw, which makes no sense whatsoever. But okay, we'll go with it. Okay, so they're building him up as a monster. Okay, and Cesaro has been in storyline. He's been disappointing the last few months. So when he goes to Kane's a prick. Okay, so he's gonna put him in a match against the guy they're building up as a monster.
I do.
So it's and the way they're building up Ryback, you can't get any moves in on him. You got to treat him like a monster, and so it makes sense to me at this point.
The only real outcome that I have on this, I'm actually gonna talk about this later, I do have a small idea of where this whole thing with Cesaro is going to go, and I really hope it actually does lead to a good, decent push for Cesaro, but I'll talk about that one later. Let's move on Raw, and let's talk about something that has been the least interesting thing that's going on in WWE, and that is the tag team division. They're actually trying something here. And it's the only reason I'm bringing it up now is because Miz and Mizdow are involved in this. Yes, they're throwing in Los Matadores in this as well with Dashingly Gold and the Usos, but you got to have 4 teams going at it. But the whole focus of this whole thing is Miz and Mizdow.
And you know, I have a feeling that the Miz and Mizdow are going to come out tag team champions.
As do I.
Because and this will start the split.
And this is what this is the seeds of what we were talking about before, minus Miz winning the United States Championship. They actually are throwing them in a tag team, basically take out the United States and just start it from when they were at the tag team. From my plans, what I told you a couple weeks ago, or maybe more. It doesn't matter. Now you're going to have Mizdow start getting the victories in the tag team match, and of course Miz is going to take the glory. I'm the one, blah, 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 which will eventually lead to the turn with Mizdow. The one thing I'm hoping is that it's Mizdow, or I'm not going to call him Mizdow anymore. Sandow. I want Sandow to be the one that turns, that actually throws the first punch.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll be like Alex Riley.
I want it to be a successful Alex Riley.
A successful Alex Riley. Hey, that feud was successful.
Oh, the feud was.
The feud was successful. Afterwards, it was.
There is no afterwards for Alex Riley.
Yeah, he's a heel announcer now on NXT. Good for you, Bodie.
Hey, at least he still has a job.
Yeah.
I don't want the Miz to be the one that actually turns his back on Sandow, because it will be Sandow going down.
Yeah, I think that Sandow will turn.
At this point, Sandow has more to gain with the turn than Miz. Miz, you don't really have to hurt the Miz. Miz isn't really going anywhere. He's not going down to like the Heath Slater or
he's a mainstay in the mid card now.
Exactly, and this will help Sandow if it will eventually happen. And no one cares about Dashingly Gold, Stardust losing to Fernando. No one cares about that.
Yeah, tell me, any of you out there, does anybody really think that Los Matadores are gonna come out of this anywhere near the tag team championship?
They're only involved in this feud is because they're the only other tag team left in the whole roster.
Yeah, and apparently they need another high flying tag. You get the 2 straight laced, the 2 mat based teams, and then you get the 2 high flying teams. All right, cool.
And now let's quickly talk about, since nothing else to talk about in the tag team division other than Mizdow is the main focus, which is sad because I would like to see more interactions between Dashingly Gold and Miz and Mizdow. Hopefully we'll get that, because the Usos, they don't need to say anything. They've done their business. Nobody wants to see them as tag team champs anymore other than little kids. And Los Matadores. Yeah. We're not going to go there.
Do we need to say anything more than...
No. Now, let's move on to the oddest thing that came out of Raw, which is the whole storyline between Sheamus and Rusev. I like the idea of them having a dark match on the WWE Network. I like that idea.
I do like the idea. I like the idea that they're having a title match? Not really.
I liked it. It got people.
I think that in my mind, if you have a title match, it should be on TV.
They want to. It's a good way to invest in the network. I understand it from a
business point of view. As a fan point of view, if there's a title match, I'd like to see it on either TV or pay-per-view.
I liked it. The one thing that I didn't like was the whole build during the night. Between Sheamus and Tyson Kidd
and Rusev and Zack Ryder. Yeah, sorry, Zack Ryder. Did anyone think that Zack Ryder had a shot in hell?
Hey, at least he was on TV. That's all I can say.
He got his $1,000 paycheck.
He got his paycheck for actually showing up on Raw first time in God knows how long.
Yeah,
probably since the last time he was on Raw.
How long was the match? Like
when he won?
40 seconds.
It was definitely under a minute. The shocking thing was Tyson Kidd and Sheamus. I was surprised. A, from how much they're having Tyson Kidd beat down on Sheamus, and B, the fact that they actually had Sheamus lose, even though it was via countout.
And they brought Total Divas into it. With the whole Tyson Kidd Natalia thing, it was weird. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just weird and awkward.
Yeah,
because you're building up your United States champion
and having him lose to Tyson Kidd
and having him lose in a countout. Now it's nice that he didn't kick Natalia's head off.
Yeah,
but
I was expecting this to be like another like the face version of Rusev and Zack Ryder. Because you have to build Sheamus up to be...
You know what I think this means, okay? And I would be happy with this, okay? They're building up for Tyson Kidd to come up to the main roster and have an actual run instead of what he was doing, Superstars, Tyson Kidd versus Justin Gabriel every week back in the day. Now he's coming, but this was not... This was not the time and the place
and Sheamus,
for these shenanigans. No. Sheamus needed to come out with a win to build up that he actually stood a chance against Rusev, even though we saw in the end he really did not.
Not only did he needed a win to help build up his stamina for the match later that night, he needed a dominating win just to show he can be just as powerful as Rusev, which we all know he is, but
storyline-wise, it made him
odd. It was very odd.
It was odd. Not really the time and the place for Total Divas in the United States title match.
No,
I don't want Total Divas storylines in my WWE storylines.
At least the main story.
If you're gonna do that, keep it on NXT. It's bad enough that we have Nikki Bella versus Brie Bella. It's bad enough. Don't bring anything else from Total Divas on there.
I was actually very surprised on your guys' review of that match. Even though they wrestled pretty well.
I couldn't. You heard us. We were like, we're actually sad and disappointed to say this. But this match wasn't actually that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't good either.
That's why it still only got the peach fuzz.
For me, I was giving it a very generous clean shaven. It still bored the hell out of me. I'm not at all invested in these two, and even though they had a good match, I wasn't invested. I just didn't care. There's nothing.
I wasn't invested, but it was perfectly acceptable wrestling.
It was acceptable wrestling, but it was just didn't catch my interest. You had to catch my interest in the match too, not just the wrestling.
And he wasn't thinking about Evil Bella boobs at the time. We hadn't bought that up yet.
Oh yeah, I don't care about Evil Bella boobs. I honestly don't care.
I can't believe how long we spent on that last week.
I was surprised. I'm listening to the show and I'm like, how long are you guys going to talk about Evil Bella boobs? Good Lord.
We had fun. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
And it's going to be an ongoing subject.
Well, I do know one thing.
Until they get back together again, which is BS. Keep them separate for a long time.
Who's separate? Keep who separate? The Bellas?
The Bellas.
Oh. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I really don't. Why?
Evil Bella boobs. Move on.
That's it. Back to Rusev and Sheamus. I do know one thing. Sheamus is going to get his rematch
Sheamus is gonna get his rematch. He's gonna lose again.
He's gonna lose again. It's not gonna happen.
And these two are gonna end up.
It's really not gonna happen soon.
It's not gonna happen soon because they're gonna, in my case, they're gonna end up on the Survivor Series teams.
Exactly. That's what I think too. And now moving on to the main focus of Raw. The main storyline is the Authority. Just the Authority. At first, they went...
In other words, what else is new?
Exactly, what else is new? Since Cena wasn't there, they had to focus on the heel team. And I like that the Authority came out to try and persuade Ziggler to join them, saying this whole Cena won't... even though you might be like one of the winners, the main focus is going to be on Cena.
I
like that.
I like...
True.
I like that they're giving Ziggler such a big part.
Me too. I'm loving this.
Like, you wouldn't expect that at all. But as soon as, what was it, Cena teamed up with Ziggler last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as that happened, I was like, ooh.
This could be interesting.
And then this week with the quote-unquote bidding war which consisted of a 15-minute long Triple H promo that brought me back to the days of Evolution, where I wanted to put earplugs in my ears whenever he came out for a promo. It was one of those, but it's still giving credence to the fact that now they believe they're treating the Intercontinental Champion the way he was meant to be treated.
And the fact that it was Dolph Ziggler makes it even better.
Exactly.
Because he's put himself on the line for WWE for so many years now. He's long overdue for that point where he should be coming close to that top spot.
Indeed.
He could be on the same level. I think he is on the same level as Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Sheamus. Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. I'm going to say Cesaro because Cesaro is one of the best wrestlers they have. He just is in a awkward position right now. So I'm still going to add him. Who am I missing? It doesn't matter. Ziggler is in a point where he can be one of those top stars, and he is being treated as a top star. The only real complaint I had was his whole response to Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah, you could tell that was scripted, and I wouldn't have been... It felt like that Rock promo where he had it written out on his wrist and he was looking at it. It felt like that. I mean, the script was good.
It was,
but the way that Ziggler said it, okay, you could tell.
Oh, it's not even just the way he said it. The way he said it was bad enough. It was what was said. I don't think it was really that great a skip. It was too typical. It wasn't anything I would think Ziggler would say in that spot. If they give Ziggler the free time to actually say, they say, here's what you're going to say it how you would say it.
But here's...
It wasn't how he would say it. It was how it was written down. And you can definitely tell it was not... Ziggler wouldn't say it that way.
Imagine if they swerve everybody and Ziggler turns heel at Survivor Series and joins the Authority. Imagine that.
I don't... With how much focus Triple H is trying to get on him, I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't think it's going to happen. Ziggler is too popular of a face.
Because Ziggler has said that he likes playing heel better than face.
Everybody likes playing heel better than face, though.
But
except for Cena, because apparently Cena is just loving it as a face.
Well, yeah, because he makes more money.
My argument, he would still make as much money if he was a heel, but that's just my opinion. At this point in time, yeah. But I don't think Ziggler's going to turn heel.
Yeah, but just imagine the greatness if he did.
It'd be great. It would be great for him if he did, but then again, if it's the other way around, turning it on the other side of the coin, it could probably put him back to where somewhere like The Miz is.
So what happens is Ziggler basically says that
no.
he says no, He says that the only thing he wants is the authority out of business. So
it leads to an Intercontinental title match between him and Seth Rollins.
This match
was awesome.
Was great. And of course, you knew that the Intercontinental title wasn't going to change hands, so you knew there was going to be shenanigans. And here comes RKO out of nowhere.
RKO gone. I loved it.
RKO.
It's like, whoa, what just happened?
I'm not even going to say RKO gone because he did the Viper thing. It stared at Mercury and Noble.
Yeah.
And just like, I dare you.
Slowly slither his way out of the ring.
No, actually, what he slithered towards them and was like, I dare you.
It slithers back to Seth Rollins.
And then the two of them are like, and then he does the slow back out of the ring. And the crowd went nuts. We have witnessed the resurgence of Randy Orton with this RKO out of nowhere thing, and I'm loving every second of it. This is riveting TV.
He doesn't need. He still. It's even funny because he's still still on the heel side, but getting those face cheers.
I don't think he'll be on the heel side for very much longer.
No. Considering how this night ends,
exactly.
Yeah. And continuing on, Randy Orton goes to Triple H and Stephanie saying he wants a match with Rollins. Triple H gives it to him, basically saying, whatever you guys have with each other, get it out of your systems, and then be friends again. They have their match as the main event, which I always love that they have main events. They don't announce it at the end. They just have it shown in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Like, they announce the main events there. I'm like, so if they didn't have this whole storyline, what would have been the main event of the show?
Fernando versus Stardust.
Oh, God. Was that really right before the match?
I could check real quick doing my
While you're
research.
doing that, we'll just... Wait, no, don't even bother.
It was.
Don't even bother with it.
The main event would have been Fernando versus Stardust.
Oh, dear God. WWE booking at its finest.
Well, you always know they got to do the match they want to play it like crap right before the main event, so it makes the main event seem so much bigger.
So Seth Rollins and Randy Orton finally get their match one-on-one.
And guess what? Seth Rollins comes out on top with
clean victory.
Clean victory, yeah. And Randy Orton goes
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Indeed. Starts RKOing everybody.
And at first you think, okay, we got it out of our systems. Shaking hands with everyone else. Shaking hands.
RKO. I don't know. RKO out of nowhere. And then the beatdown commences.
Not even that. At first, Randy Orton throws everybody out, and he's talking with Triple H. Calm down, calm down. Randy Orton shoulder blocks him as he's walking past him. Triple H, no, grabs his arm. No, wait a minute. Punch. That's when it starts. That's when they're all coming out. The Briscoe and Patterson 2.0, aka Mercury and Noble, and then Kane. And then they take a reluctant Triple H says, finish it. I like that he was reluctant about it. Stephanie?
Well, because let's think about it, okay? Randy Orton's always been his boy.
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
So
it works in the storyline. Stephanie was all for it. It's like, finish it! No hesitation. Finish it!
And Triple H remembers the Randy Orton that he brought up.
Exactly.
That he mentored, that he was friends with, and unfortunately now has to
let him go.
Let him go.
Let him go. Let him go.
What are we doing? We don't know.
RKO out of nowhere.
Let him go. Stop this immediately.
Hey, it actually kind of worked. But...
It did. And then it's so Orton now gets to take the time out to do his movie.
Seth Rollins. When you want a WWE superstar to be taken out to do a movie, call Seth Rollins.
First you got Cinder Blocks.
And now it's just the steel steps.
Now it's steel steps. Just call Seth Rollins. Just make sure Seth Rollins knows that when they're ready to come back, he's gonna die.
and heads up, Kane, watch your step there. Did you notice Kane tripping?
Kane. Yeah, buddy. You might want to think about hanging it up soon.
Hey, people fall.
People fall. Just ask Kofi Kingston.
Exactly. It doesn't mean anything bad for Kane. He just tripped off the steps. Who cares? And that's how Raw closes with Randy Orton taking a nap after getting curb stomped.
Randy Orton taking an Ambrose.
Taking an Ambrose. Actually, that's the best way to put it. Taking an Ambrose. He's filming The Condemned too, right?
Yeah.
And we probably won't see him until Survivor Series, which comes to our main topic of discussion before we close out tonight. I posted on the Facebook page who you think is going to be on the Team Authority and Team Cena of the Survivor Series match. For each side, we have 2 confirmed members. For the Authority, it's Rollins and Kane. For Team Cena, it's Cena and Ziggler. Now, since it's most likely going to be the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, who do you think are going to be who's going to fill in the 3 spots on each side, and who do you pick as wild cards? Go ahead, you go first.
Okay. For Team Authority. Okay. I believe that they'll have Cesaro. Based on the storyline they're doing right now, Cesaro trying to get on Team Authority any means necessary. I'm sure they're going to give him other chances because really, Ryback, all right. You knew he was going to lose that. Okay. Rusev, of course. And this is actually tough. I'll go Mark Henry.
All right. Now, do we want you to say your members for Team Cena, or do you want you give Authority, I give Authority, you give Cena, I give Cena?
I'll give Cena.
Okay.
Just do the whole thing. Get it out.
Okay.
Okay. I believe. Okay, you have Cena, you have Ziggler.
Yes.
Okay. You'll have Sheamus because you'll have Rusev. You'll have Big Show because you'll have Henry. And I believe that they will... Okay,
Take your time.
I don't know. I don't know because I think there's going to be a mystery wrestler. Okay, and I think that... Yeah, you know what? Take out Henry for the Authority.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, put in Triple H.
Put in Triple H?
Put in Triple H. Take out Henry because you'll have Sheamus, you'll have Ryback, and you'll have a mystery wrestler.
Okay.
Who will either turn out to be Randy Orton, of course.
Of course.
When is Roman Reigns supposed to be coming back from his hernia?
I believe they're giving him a Royal Rumble return.
Okay, so mystery wrestler Randy Orton returns.
What are your wild cards?
My wild card is for Team Cena, Roman Reigns. Pulling a Cena coming back early. And wild card. Well, no. I'll do the wild cards, Mark Henry and Big Show.
Okay. All right. Good choices. I approve. And for me, I wrote them down. Of course, Team Authority is going to be Rollins and Kane's. The 3 spots that I'm going to fill in is I'm going to stick with Mark Henry, Rusev, and I'm going to throw Triple H in because he's going to be he would want to fight for his job, knowing Triple H, because I think it would just be silly him having others fighting his battles, especially for something as big as this. For the wild card, I'm going to put in someone that no one's going to see coming, which is not going to happen, but I'm just going to... It would be a great idea. The WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. First, for wanting the best team that could possibly fight for them, Brock Lesnar is their best choice. The man who defeated The Undertaker and who beat John Cena twice. It's not going to happen because you're not going to see Brock Lesnar in this match involved, which is a shame because since this is one of the big 4 pay-per-views, you would think he would show up. But
yeah, and you would think with it being Team Cena,
exactly,
the number one contender for his title, let me vomit.
Hell, I can even see, like, Brock Lesnar doesn't have to be pinned to be eliminated. I can see him walking out. Like, something not going his way, and he walks out. For teams, but yeah, that's my team authority. For Team Cena, it's obviously Cena and Ziggler. I'm going to throw in Big Show, Sheamus, and Ryback. And my wild card is actually going to be a big one. I'm going to pick my wild card as Cesaro. Because we keep talking about how he's going to keep trying to fight his way into team authority, I can actually see to a point where he's once again going to go talk to Triple H about it, to go to Triple H himself, asking to be on team authority, and Triple H just talks him down, saying, "You've had your chances, and you're just not worth the time. You are."
And then Cena just comes and picks him up.
Cena comes,
just be like, "Hey."
And leading to a point, not even just Cena comes up to him. I can see Cesaro starting to get in Triple H's face, saying he's better than than he's giving him credit for. So Triple H puts him in a match, we'll say against Kane, and which would lead to the Authority attacking Cesaro.
And out comes Cena.
And
his merry crew.
Exactly.
All right.
And it would be a good thing for Cesaro, because really, we've talked about this before. What more can Cesaro do as a heel? Really. The fans want to like him. The fans want to cheer him. And WWE keep denying us that chance with them keeping him as a heel isn't helping him. He can put on 5-star matches and he can get the crowd going nuts. We've seen it during the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. We've seen it when he was with the Real Americans, when every time he goes for a big swing. He can thrive as a face. And I think this could actually be a good setup for him to actually turn face. Where the Authority is basically like, you've had your chance, you have just been nothing but a disappointment. Cesaro gets upset. You really think I'm disappointment? I may be better than you think. Prove it by facing Kane tonight. He may get the upper hand on Kane. Next thing you know, Seth Rollins comes out, Mercury and Noble come out and take him out, which will lead Cesaro coming to Cena, asking to join on his team, that he wants to take down the Authority.
It's a good theory.
And that's my thoughts. And that's all that can be said about Raw and the whole build up to Survivor Series, which is actually building up to be a pretty decent Survivor Series. I like that they're actually... What I like about what they're doing now is they're putting the main focus in a Survivor Series match. It's just not a Survivor Series match thrown together. It has purpose. That's one thing I'm liking about the whole gimmick pay-per-views recently. If it's something to do with the Hell in a Cell is a main focus for future up-and-coming stars. TLC, they had the TLC match be... The winner is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And now you're having the Survivor Series where the main event is all your top stars fighting in the Survivor Series match. I like what they're doing with these gimmick pay-per-views. It actually makes me happy with how much, what's the right word? The correct way to build up for these pay-per-views. There's obvious... Do you think there's going to be a thrown together Survivor Series match of the lower card? Let's say like Heath Slater and...
Oh, if it's going to be those guys, I hope not.
It's just another. They're gonna probably have like one more Survivor Series matchup for the lower card guys.
Yeah, it'll be like Hell in a Cell. They'll do the big Hell in a Cell. They'll do the big Survivor Series match, and then they'll have one. Well, see, it's hard because most of the mid card is taken care of.
Okay, how about this?
At this point,
how about an NXT Survivor Series?
Yo. Now that you put that idea in my head,
it's brilliant.
It must happen. even if it's on the pre-show, bring it. Do it.
All right. Well, I think that's a good way to end the show tonight.
Yeah.
Putting some positive thoughts in your head. And we want to thank you all for listening in tonight. If you like the show, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And be sure to find us on our Facebook page, The Scholars of Wrestling Show. So like us there. And nothing more else to say, but thank you all for listening in. And we are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
I'm gonna go eat some tainted meat.
Tainted meat?
You're eating tainted meat.
Tainted meat.
Nom, 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 nom.